Welcome back, everybody. Today we've got an absolutely crazy topic to talk about. It's something that's been taking the internet by storm, as per usual. I hope you're ready to sit down and get schooled, because I'm about to have a little father-son talk with you. Except, instead of the birds and the bees, it's gonna be like, the birds and the D's. Nuts. Now, I'm sure by now, each and every single one of you have seen the galvanized steel, at least somewhere on the internet. It's pretty popular. If you don't know how the story goes, it's a tale as old as time, back told in caveman era days where they would paint shit on the walls. They would tell stories about Little John and how he worked his whole life to make $3 billion just so he could buy a small 0x0 square meter apartment in New York City. And you might be thinking, wow, 0x0 square meters in New York City for $3 billion? That's horrible. What's he gonna do? But this is a story of drive, of passion, of the human spirit's ability to take nothing and make it into something and keep pushing forward with what you have. From this point on, Little John goes to get a few galvanized steel beams from the junkyard, and he welds them together in a cross pattern to improve the strength, and then he borrows a few nuts and bolts from his seventh aunt.
Frustrated, he used galvanized steel to weld his two-frame, borrow some screws from his aunt-in-law, and fix it firmly to the wall.
I don't know why he always gets them from an aunt, but he does. He then uses the steel beams to construct a frame around his 0x0 square foot house, extending it outwards a little bit. Hi. And then Little John goes ahead and he wraps those steel beams with some eco-friendly wood veneers, for the environment. And then he installs some crazy compact shit like a laundry room that could double as a stovetop, that could triple as a bathroom, that could quadruple as a bed. It's crazy. This man's a genius. Put him in fucking NASA. He's gonna design the next intercontinental ballistic spaceship of death. So that's basically how the story goes. It's a classic. You've probably seen it appear in a few places, usually with some really shitty 3D modeling happening, kind of describing the diagram and everything that's going on, with an AI-sounding narrator voice that I can't tell if that's just how it sounds or if it's slightly sped up in every video that it's used in. But that's like the basic premise of the galvanized steel, videos like that. But I've noticed recently that they've been getting kind of wild. And there has been one or two that have really made me want to talk about it and show off some of the more wild sides of this galvanized steel thing. Because at first I thought that was kind of it. Like, where are you going to go with that? All you could really do is show the story of Little John getting a house and improving it, right? And then Little John starts to get... Well, my light just died, so you're going to have a shadow creamy now, so sorry about that. Anyway, Little John starts to get bitches. He does. He starts having girlfriends. So then, of course... he needs to accommodate for those, and they start giving him bigger beds and stuff. And then the lore starts expanding even more. Little John has a wife, and that wife and John are the most fertile couple in the entire fucking known universe, because somehow his wife manages to accidentally give birth to billions of kids every single day. And they need room for those billions of kids, obviously, so they do some even more crazy shit. One of the strangest ones I've seen recently, he made a whole fucking, temple with 100 billion beds on all walls and escalators and shit. That's crazy. And the thing that, really pushed me over the edge and made me say, I have to talk about this, and just tell, someone, a trusted adult or a bunch of kids on the internet, is, this one where Little John, he gets his 0x0 meter cliff apartment, and he walks through and he trips. And that's basically a death sentence, right? But now there's a new part of this Little John lore, where apparently he's been raising an eagle since it was born.
As soon as he entered the door, but fortunately, the eagle he had raised since childhood saved him.
And this eagle saves Little John from falling to his death, and he ends up using it as a bed to sleep at night, crying. So to recap a little bit, Little John is a hard-working man. He lives in New York City, which is probably a death sentence for most people, I'm sure. He does have a very good social life. He has plenty of friends that he needs to account for when designing his homes. And he does also have a girlfriend who eventually becomes his wife, and they do have children. And he is a natural animal tamer, as seen with the eagle. Now, if you were to ask me where I thought this story would go next, I have absolutely no fucking clue. For all I know, they could say that all of a sudden, this is Little John, he's the captain of the fucking SS Steamboat Willie, and then he'd be like renting out a 0x0 square room on a fucking tugboat. I don't know. Maybe he installs a laser tripwire field for home security. I wouldn't be surprised. This man is fucking crazy. I'm also very interested to see if we get any more new characters added, because right now the main characters are Little John, his wife, and a billion kids, and, you know, some friends that we don't fully know about, and I guess the eagle, which I don't know if that's a real, like, in-lore thing, or if that's just, like, something put in there as a headcanon from the account that I watch. It's like Home Design 3D on Instagram, because I'm a Reels nerd.
Yeah. No, it's not. What?
But I'd love to see like a little Tammy or something. You know, like just another side. Maybe little Tammy isn't as much as an architect or an engineer as Little John is. And instead, little Tammy ends up like, you know, using spiritual awakening powers and concocting a portal to another realm, and she lives there. I don't know, the possibilities are endless. Physics does not apply to these people. In all the videos I've seen, they walk in and out of fucking walls, right? They do some crazy. They ride on eagles, I guess. You know, again, the fucking eagle is still wild to me. So I'm thinking that Little John is actually just like some sort of extraterrestrial that landed on this planet in New York for some reason, and he's trying to live a normal life, but he can't help just be fucking like crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, no normal human person could do this. Right now, go out, find one of those videos, and follow it step by step. It's fucking impossible unless you have a crew of 10 men and $3 billion worth of funding. I promise. Anyway, that's probably enough about Galvanized Steel. Hope you enjoyed. Check out the other stuff. Should be right there or right there. One of these sides. So yeah, see ya.